felt like yesterday. I was just driving my grandma's Chevrolet.
Still a bit warm here in Florida, but really all things considered, a wonderful fall afternoon for football here in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's the first weekend of autumn, and the NFL is in full swing as off we go on EA Sports. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. They fake the handoff. Now Brady. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
No surprise at all. They're looking for the big man early in this one. The only surprise for them, he couldn't hang on to the pass.
Brady's incompletion on first down leads to a 2nd and 10. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
Throwing is Brady on third down. He completes it to Julio Jones. He's going to have the first down and more than that. Loose inside the 30. Inside the 10. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterward to just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And if you're wondering how fast he was going, next-gen stats clocked him at close to 21 miles an hour. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. But ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Green Bay need to get Aaron Rodgers some help at receiver, and they did so by picking Christian Watson 34th overall. That's the earliest they've taken a receiver since 2002. Watson has some NFL bloodlines as well.
Touchdown!
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And they take the lead here at 7-6. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that. Charles's defense, they were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up third. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. A real letdown defensively. That was third and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And some room to work. Shreds him with a stiff arm. And he will step out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. 53 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. They'll run with Chubb. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. So they get pushed back to the 11. And here's second and goal. Throwing now is Brady. Looking for Godwin, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Darnell Savage. And the Packers will take over here at their own 12-yard line. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down. Well, this defense for the Buccaneers, much improved from week 1. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and trying to attack them this week because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
Now a first down carry by Jones. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's second and 9. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He's got the hook up with Dobbs. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he's able to get across midfield and down into Buccaneer territory.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
He rifles one that's intercepted. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
He's got a man complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Give him 32 on the play.
How about the first half he's putting together? Well over 100 yards already with that last catch. And to me, they'd be well served to keep looking his way. A number of big plays already in this one.
And in for the Buccaneers touchdown. Cade Otton with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bucs have retaken the lead.
As a general rule, quarterbacks don't want to lock in on a receiver before the ball is snapped. But in this case, based on the matchup he thought he was going to get, it was favorable for his tight end. He locked in on him early and found him for a touchdown.
Now, meanwhile, the throw by Brady knocked away, incomplete. Now it's Ryan Suckup on after the touchdown to kick it away. This is taken just shy of the 10. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. So they wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Got a man, it's Tunyon. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. The defense shaking their heads, not aggressive enough, and they allow him to convert a 3rd and 18. Rodgers now on 1st down. He hits Dobbs on the crosser. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43. Out of the shotgun, it's Jones. And he's got it to about the 40.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw brought in by Watson. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 18. On the delay, Jones. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Rodgers. And it's a Packers touchdown. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as they have taken the lead. Crosby connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 2. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This taken in at the goal line. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Brady. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Brady, they set up the screen to Chubb. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
On play action, it's Brady. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And the Packers are going to take possession of the football. And that's a ball that he is going to want to keep, his 1st career interception in the National Football League.
And I love what teams do when that happens. You bring the ball to the sideline, the equipment guy grabs it, he puts a piece of tape on it, writes on it so that you know what it is, and then they tuck it away so that you can have it for later and put it on your mantle. Pretty good deal for him right there. Now he's eager to get back out on the field and get a 2nd.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. This one swung out here to Jones. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this 1st half. On Play action. It's Rodgers. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Shaquille Barrett put that sack by his name in the stat sheet. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. The kick by Crosby is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime in a 5-point game. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. This offense set to begin the third quarter. And, Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced. Either throw it or run it and try and win this ball game.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Working from the gun, Rodgers. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. It's Devin White, the linebacker. And it's a pick 6. He brings it back to the house for a Buccaneer TD. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. So after the INT, it's Brady. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with it.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Carlton Davis picks it. And the Buccaneers are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. This has been all that we'd hoped for. 2 of the game's all-time great QBs slugging it out in a 1-score game here in the second half. 1st and 10. And he stopped immediately there. Kenny Clark, the big D tackle there to make the stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. And Brady going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Packers are going to have it here at their own 15. And that's now a half dozen interceptions for him over the last 2 games. Because CD, remember, he threw 3 in the last ball game and now 3 more here.
And the way that you present it, partner, I'm not sure what sounds worse, right? Half a dozen over the last 2 games or 3 the last game, 3 this game. Either way, it's way too many. And that's something they'll have to work on, hoping to get through the rest of this game without having to address it again.
From midfield, here's Rodgers. And he'll let this go deep for Lazard. And incomplete on the deep ball.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. He's got Tunyon complete over the middle. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs' 29-yard line. Rodgers to throw once more. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Bucs are going to get it back here just shy of the 20. And that could turn out to be a giant play, Charles. You've got an offense driving to take the lead, but they're turned away on the INT.
And I think that we might look back on this in the 4th quarter and say, that was the play of the game.
Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. Now they set up the screen, that's complete. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain of 10 to start the drive out, and by a few inches, that'll be a first down. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. To credit Chris Barnes rushing in there and hitting him for a loss.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
Meanwhile, Brady's throw taken in by Evans here. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Now Chubb running right. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Brady. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Open man has got it. It's complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. They'll get 34 yards there. Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 67 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
On 2nd and goal, Brady. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. This will cost him 11 yards there on the 2nd and goal sack.
When you're this close to the goal line, you got to expect pressure from the defense, so the ball's got to come out fast. Got to get out of his hands quicker.
Brady now on 3rd and goal. The quick slant caught. Touchdown! Mike Evans. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Bucs are able to build on to their 4th quarter lead. So a big play coming now for the Bucs as they'll go for 2. Brady's going to look to throw. And he will get into the end zone. It's 2 points and also a 2-score advantage as the lead swells to 9. Now it's Ryan Succop after the touchdown to kick it away. This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And the script really is flipped for them. The momentum on the other sideline, and now they have to try and battle back from a 2-score deficit. He can only get a yard after all that. It's 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game. Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. And my goodness, another interception. Carlton Davis picks it. And the Buccaneers are going to take possession of the football. I think you and I were a little surprised back earlier in the game when he threw a 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Devondre Campbell flies in to blow that play up. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely, of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now this is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Brady now to throw. He's got Otten. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line. And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Julio Jones. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Bucs are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. And after all that, they are set up in unbelievable field position. Now it's Ryan Succop after the touchdown to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. And some space here. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 59 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass.
And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And it's a Packers touchdown. A great play there. with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Packers have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. They're going to run for it with Jones. And he'll get in as they're back within a score now. The lead's down to 7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Tampa offense ready to get their drive started. And checking the timeouts. They do have 2 defensively, but no real need to use them as they're not going to be able to stop the clock after that. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the fourth. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. They run it again with Chubb. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. Brady to throw. Looking downfield for Jones. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Julio Jones, 82 yards. And the Bucs use the big play to extend their 4th quarter lead. Brady will look to throw for it. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Levante David. And the Bucs are going to take possession of the football. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Brady going to throw here. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And the Packers come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Bucs, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they'll have another home date next week as the Kansas City Chiefs come to town. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll try again next week at home against New England.